Hey everyone. Um, so today I just wanted to go over real quick a little bit of what we've been working on for the website. So we have added the capability um, to do multiple images for a cocktail, and we're adding it to not only the cocktail but also um, the products, the producers, pretty much everything that has an image can have an image set now. Same with videos, we'll add that capability. You'd think it's super easy, but it takes a while to get all the forms together and build it so it's more dynamic, so you can keep adding more and more photos. And then that way, we'll go into a second phase, which I'll talk about at the end. But as you can see here, I just did a quick search for Godfather, God and Mother. We'll do Godfather and see this is like I said, we're on the admin side. So we've got a bunch of links that pop up. And then what you'll see down here is that now we have the multiple um, cocktail images. So, you go out and about, and what you'll find is that you can take a picture of it real quick, click, click, and then you can do your edits on your phone, and then you can upload to the site and keep adding images. I can show you a dummy one real quick. The Jamaican Quaalude, I just added more than I needed. And so with that, you can see now that not only is it more, so you get your more than three, so you get your slider buttons, but it also has slick slider, JavaScript. And with that, you can do a drag. So when you're on the phone, it's not just tap, 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 tap on the buttons. You can also slide, which is really nice. And then when you select it, it pops up and you're good to go. And then you select again, it pops up. The reason I said it takes a little while is I'll go into cocktails, and it's the form, right? It's the form that takes a little while. And even the form as I have it now is not exactly the way we want it. It's much more of a manual process. The thing that I want to do is allow you to collapse these individual image URLs, right? As well as add more data, but I want you to collapse them into just like this. So there'd be collapses within collapses, and then you should be able to drag and drop to reorder. Right now, you literally have to go in and copy and paste the URL. So you would add a dummy value to the bottom and then move kind of everything around to where you want it. So it's not ideal. This is some UI UX stuff that needs to be worked out, but you just hit the plus button to add, you hit the minus button to remove, and then boom, you've got an image set. Very, very nice. And so the kind of like, well, what do you get out of this, right? Well, what you get is the capability of doing on the admin side. So most of the time when you go to a website, they put an image to select from for, say, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Mix, whatever. And you run into this issue where you're basically only sharing a page with one image, right? So let me go to Godfather real quick. So if I were to share this page, right, with my share buttons, right, it's going to share it as on Facebook. It's going to share it with just this image because this is the metadata I loaded up from. Facebook doesn't let you go in and say, oh, which image do you want to do? Like Pinterest says, boom, here's all the images on your page, right? Here are all the images. Which one do you want to do? And you put that one in. So if you have, in my case, I have 3 separate images. Each post can be a separate image, right? And then it has all the recipe descriptions and metadata behind it, which is really cool on Pinterest, right? Because then you can kind of get all this content out with one page, and all you've done is add one image, and you still get all the recipe content and things like that make it meaningful and interesting. The thing that you lose is Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr and Mix, and what else do we have? And Instagram. you lose all these, right? You can't pick the image like you can on Pinterest. So then so once you have multiple images, you want to be able to pick the one that Facebook uses for a particular post, right? So this is what we're working on right now, and this is why we had to have multiple images. So if you're on Amazon, the problem with Amazon is it uses the default image every time. You can't say no, use this image, and then post the same product 10 times with different images. That would be very cool, and it might be more efficient and effective in terms of marketing and things like that. Social media marketing, if you're not trying to pay for ads. So the problem is that when you're going through this process, if you don't have this capability, I can't reuse the link effectively. I can't reuse the share link effectively. I'm not talking about going on and posting images, right? And doing it on the platform, right? I can do that on the platform. I can do that on the platform with all three of these images right here, right? And put it on the platform natively, right? And then put a link below. But the way I've set it up and the way I like doing it is sharing quickly, efficiently from the page itself, not having to go drag, select images, right? Just boom, give me the image, post it, go, right? And so the way to solve that is to change the metadata and then push that metadata to Facebook so that Facebook knows to use that image instead of a different image. So hopefully tomorrow or the next day I'll have that wrapped up and I can show you guys how it works, because it's not a front end user facing thing. It's not on the production. It's on the admin back end, right? So that's the reason I'm doing it this way, because I haven't thought of the UI UX experience I want the user to have, so that when they share on Facebook or Twitter, that they can pick the image. That's the ultimate goal, is to have them. But how do you kind of show and explain that that's the image they're using? Pinterest makes it, again, really easy. It's like, which image do you want to use? And then they pick and use that image. But like I said, Facebook doesn't, Twitter doesn't. It's whatever you set in the metadata. So how do you explain to the user, hey, you have a metadata picture of this, and do you want to change it to that and then publish that, right? So there has to be an in-between step. But that also slows down the sharing capability or the sharing speed. And so the question is, how do you do that so the user isn't frustrated, right? Because right now it's one click, you're right to the share page, and boom, away you go. And I don't want to really ruin that experience, but at the same time, now they can't share as many pages, even though it's the same page. They can't share as many of them because they only have one image option. And it'd be very cool if I could say, no, blast out, 7 different images. It's all the same page, but maybe they want to share all the different images, not necessarily the fact that it's the same page, but they like all the images, right? So how do they do that? And we get the bonus of the page. Anyway, that's what we're working on. Like I said, multi-images done, working for cocktails, working on products, working on distillers, producers. So distillers, producers, products, cocktails. And then we're not just doing images, but we'll do the videos as well. So as you know, I do the intro video right now, which is pretty much just the summation of what it is, who it's by, picture, exit, right? So now the key is to come back through and do, say, harvest a recipe out of the cocktail, generate the cuts, generate the components of the video. So it's all kind of auto-generated. And then I could have a how to make it recipe kind of video. And then like, say I take the picture, right? Okay, well now I'm at the bar. Maybe I want to do a quick, like, one of these around the bar, so that it's a video. And then I can add, and then I can kind of pan down into the cocktail, and then I can say, oh, this is the old fashioned, or the not old fashioned, the Godfather at Paletti Bar, and do something like that so that I have maybe a different bar compilation, or maybe just a single bar with that being the cocktail, or maybe I say, hey, can I film you making this cocktail, and then I can add it to the video section. So that's why I'd want multiple videos, so I can do that, because then I can also leverage it on YouTube and Periscope, and try to think what else, Instagram TV, things like that. So it gives me more flexibility. Anyway, I hope that helps, and we're done.